Can't wait. Who's in
You're
front?
live. All right, I think we're doing this, buddy.
We are live.
What's up, guys? Sorry, I've never done this before, so I don't know what all goes on and how this works, but
So there's 7 people with us right now.
oh, there is, yeah.
6.
Okay, whoever's watching, guys, you want to let me know if you can hear me and see me okay? Because I'm kind of a rookie when it comes to this stuff here. Hearing good. Okay. Blue Knight 75, what's up? How are you, bud? John F, ready, steady. I don't know how to tell who all's in here.
Can hear and see fine.
Can hear and see. Okay, perfect.
We got 12 people already.
Right on. How's everybody doing, guys? This is pretty cool. I always try to make my videos so personal that, with my endings and stuff, trying to be so nice to all you guys, because you guys are always so nice and generous to me. So this is awesome to have you on here with me. I'm looking forward to this all day. What's up, Brody? All right. All right, we're doing good, guys. This is Kaylee. You want to say hi, buddy?
Hi.
This is my eldest. So she's the one that's going to be driving the soonest, which is a little worrisome, hey? What do you think? Should we see if Grandma will give you Ruby the Red Dragon? Okay, we're doing good, George. Thanks for asking. Okay.
So many people. Already 20.
Does she want the Vert or the Coupe? What do you think?
I
Green or red?
think I want the Green Dragon.
Oh!
Just because he's louder and faster.
Well, we got to let everybody know, actually. Ruby's going to be a little louder in the very near future.
Yeah. How do you do that? Like, make them louder?
We got to soup up the exhaust system.
Oh.
Yeah. I'll maybe start by giving you a quick little update, guys. This is neat. Actually, it's a lot better doing something like this as far as updates are concerned, because I can, it's boom, instantaneously, right? I got a parts order in with LMR. So Ruby, the Red Dragon, the 91 Vert, is going to somewhat go under the knife here in the very near future. So I've actually got a video coming up for you guys on some, it's kind of a used parts topic, but I got, what are they? BBK unequal length shorty headers. I got an off-road H, believe it or not. Those are getting very, very hard to find. And I got a MagnaFlow catback for it. So that's going to be cool. Lots of little odds and ends too. Actually, I got a video coming up for anyone interested that has to do this. I'm going to be swapping the radiator out of the 91 Vert too. And all the incidentals, hoses, and actually the radiator, not guards, plastic fins that kind of feed air into the rad. I'm going to flip those out. So a little bit of a how-to there. Oh, Matt, we got the Calypso Coupe in here. Hey, bud. Sorry, guys. I'm just going to try and catch up on some of this because I see it flashing on the side here. Aaron, she getting the green fox. She wants the green fox, Aaron, yeah. Oh, and Randy. Okay, this is funny. So Randy that's in the chat, I always love getting her comments because, she goes on about how she's a grandma and she loves seeing my assistants. So I thought, well, I'll bring one of them down at least today and let her say hi. So say hi to Randy there, bud, because she's such a nice gal. So that's a radiator swap coming. Okay, George. Yeah. So I'm going to be flipping the rad out. Now, truthfully, I don't have any pressing issues with the radiator in this car. It is the original one though. So I got a feeling it's a bit of a ticking time bomb. I don't know. Yeah. Anyway, I just thought, what the heck, right? And change all the other stuff that goes around the rad. So that's cool. What else do we got here? Randy, she says you're adorable. Josh, hey bud. So yeah, like I got, like I say, guys, the LMR parts order coming. I was actually placing some crazy orders here the last couple of days because um, I don't know if you guys have seen much of my stuff there talking about my shop, but I've got a 78 square body Chevy 1-ton with a Cummins swap in it, and I had to place an order with LMC for any of you that are familiar with that parts outfit too. So but the nice part about it is taking advantage of some of these Black Friday sales. So that's always a plus.
Oh, North California.
Carolina.
Oh.
Any chance you belong to the SJMC? I don't know what that is, Randy. SJMC. I'm assuming it's a Mustang club. Maybe San Jose Mustang Club. Just finished up the rad swap hoses thermostat. Love, yes. Yeah, so Blue Knight 75, that's actually the one. It's the SV rad. So right on. And yeah, hoses and all that good stuff too. Sweet Sugar, hi from Massachusetts. Man, D. Looking good, man. Scotty Corral, holy smokes, I haven't heard from you in years, bud. How are you? Scott used to be our neighbor.
Oh, yeah.
Joe, hi from Montreal, Mississippi. Traverse City, Michigan. We're talking about Chevys. Phil loves his Chevys. Yeah, so I got that all going on in the background. So I got to find some time and some space to get the red vert over to the shop, and I'm going to be flipping all that good stuff over too. So okay. Oh, Tom's here. Tommy, I'm looking forward to chatting with you, buddy. Can't wait. You're coming down to Foxtoberfest. Okay, so I want to do this real bad, guys. Now, I've got a crazy idea. So I think as most of you know, we're way up here in Canada, right? Not way up. I'm actually only like an hour and change from the border. But I want to get down to those shows so bad I can taste it. I mean, I can't even tell you how bad I want to do it. So this crazy idea I've got, I thought about pulling my kids out of school and loading up one, or it'd be awesome if I could bring both cars, but loading up at least one of the Foxes and
Going to grandma's?
No, go down into the States.
Oh, States.
Yeah. And try to catch as many of the shows as I can. I mean, it'd be a ton of miles and it'd be crazy to do, but what an experience, right? Yeah, you pretty much, because I mean, could start on the West Coast and head east. All you guys out east have the best shows for sure. It's just Fox heaven out there. So, and I'm all the way out here on the west, so I'd be pulling from one corner of this rock to the other side. It'd be a crazy long trip, but George, yeah, do it. Scotty, miss you, man. Thanks, buddy. Yeah, we miss you too, pal. Fixing a Mini Cooper, his first car. Really? I figured he'd have a Lightning, Scotty. Oh, we got somebody from Calgary right on. Pit Sky P. Geez, guys, we got a great showing here. 36 folks. This is awesome. Okay, do you want to stick around for the chat, bud, or what do you want to do here?
Sure.
Yeah? Okay. Guys, so now this Foxbody pricing video I did. Now, oh, do you want to fix that light, bud? So we got these, oh, there goes, censored lights, and they're great and not so great all at the same time. Actually, they're terrible when you're laying under a car for a long time and it goes dark in here. Anyways, Foxbody pricing. Now, I'll admit it, guys. I knew this was going to strike a chord with people, right? Like good and bad. I would say it's probably struck a good chord with people more so than a bad chord. I did have some people get quite technical in the comments, to which, yeah, I don't know. I mean, I can get sort of technical, but when we start factoring in inflation and stuff, I mean, like somewhat, right? But I found that quite interesting to factor in the inflationary measures, right? Now, maybe I'll start there with the inflation deal. So I don't know. I've never really thought about these cars like having inflation applied to them that much. I mean, for the longest time, they were just for a clean car. Let's say, you're kind of that five, six, seven, eight, maybe $10,000 was the top end, and now it's just I don't know. I mean, throw a dart. The really rare, really clean, really high end cars are north of $100,000. I mean, it's crazy. But uh, I guess the point, and I will also say in my video, I use this example of a $4,000 4-cylinder car. Now, that's actually not that bad of an example, just being upfront and honest. Like, it's when these 4-cylinder cars start going for like 10 plus $1,000, like that's where I go, holy smokes, like calm down, right? Um, I just, I mean, I understand the inflationary comment when you start factoring in parts. Now, parts have always climbed up in price. I remember having a printout of an old shopping cart from some online part shopping that I'd done, and those parts had all subsequently increased in price for inflationary measures or whatever. The company's just trying to charge more and make more money, whatever the case may be. So I kind of get that side of it anyway. So you could factor inflation into a car that's been modified with all kinds of brand new parts. But as far as the cars go, I mean, there was one example in the comments of factoring in inflation from when these cars were new, and it brings these cars up to somewhere around the $29,000 to $30,000 mark, which for, I guess, a clean low mile example, it's kind of, you're right in that range. So I don't know, maybe this inflationary thing, maybe there's more to it than meets the eye. But here, I'll just check the comments here. Disagree with inflation. I think it's a combination. Okay, I think you guys can see the comments. Hey, I don't know if that's the case or not. If I should read them to you guys or what. I couldn't imagine the price. Okay, you guys can. Okay, cool. So, yeah, sold the car for $5,000. So my green coupe, for anyone that's missed the video, I did it quite a few months ago. Well, I traded a quad for that car, which whatever the quad was worth, I mean, it's a crazy story in itself. But prior to trading the quad, the folks were asking like $6,000 for the car. And now that was a very low mile, like 25-ish thousand miles for that car in 96, 97. That was actually probably like, the high end of what those cars were worth at the time. Maybe not, maybe fair money. I don't know. To think you could pick one up like that for $6,000 now is wishful thinking, but run down. Original mile. Yeah, Joe, that's a good point. So the whole mileage thing, I mean, people switch from a black face gauge to a white face gauge, or their speedo packs it in and they put a new, you know what I mean? I mean, I think there's some understated mileages out there. It's actually, I mean, if you got a pretty good eye for looking underneath the car and even a mechanical ear for, how it runs, and this is obviously shy of taking the whole car apart, but a car will show its mileage pretty good. But yeah, that's an interesting one. And for folks in the States, right? Because you guys only have the 5-digit odometer. With the kilometer per hour speedos up here, we've got 6. So you'd have to go all the way to 1,000,000 miles. I don't know if one of these old 5.0s would see 1,000,000 miles, but did that to mine to ensure proper mileage. Yeah, this is it. Well, these Carfax. So Randy, you just mentioned about the Carfax. That's an interesting point. There's a car locally here that I haven't seen it in person, but it's advertised, and in the photos, it looks to be a pretty clean car. It's an LX convertible. Pardon me. And there was a discrepancy with this Carfax. Like I'm talking a discrepancy of 100,000 kilometers or 60,000 miles. And the fella claims that it was messed up at a shop. You know, they mixed up one of the digits or something, but I don't know. It made me wonder big time. Miles matter if you're going to restore it. That's a good point, Tom. You know, like I don't, I guess it depends on the miles, right? Like if a lot of those miles came out of a quarter mile, well, your torque boxes are probably going to be banged up. Um, who knows? Maybe the unibody's twisted on the car. But I guess to that point, I don't think they do in a full blown resto, especially Tom, like your car. You know, like I guess it's neat to know, say, what the body had on it for miles, but does it matter at the end of the day? I mean, you've really recreated that car, right? Um, Carfax kind of irrelevant. Yeah, I know. I kind of wonder about that too. I find it irrelevant for folks like myself because I do. I mean, I do oil changes on my own daily drivers. You know, so like Carfax would really just show when you bought the car and maybe if you had a warranty claim or something, right? So overall condition. Yeah, good point, Josh. Um, the yeah, like and so here's an interesting point on all this, like as far as miles and the look of the car. I I don't claim to be a psychic, but I think we've all been blessed with a bit of an ability to like have that gut feeling, you know? And if I get a bad gut feeling on a car, I'm just like, nope, not a chance. Like this sounds crazy, but I mean, it's almost as if they can speak to you a little bit, right? And if they're tired, they'll let you know. Um, I try to use that to the best of my ability anyway. Just see what the feel is for that car, you know. Um, I don't know. It just, yeah. I even at car shows and stuff. I mean, fully restored cars. I tend to get quite picky. My whole premise on like restos, whether it's cars or houses or whatever, I'm like, if it looks good from 2 inches, it's going to look real good from 6 feet. And a lot of people rebuild stuff where it looks good from 6 feet or 6 foot, and then 10 feet back it looks good, or it looks good driving by. And yeah, you can kind of get an eye for this stuff and get a feel for it, right? Um, are you going, bud? Okay, love you too. Scott's at worth importing faxes. So here's an interesting one, guys, from Scott. So Scott's an old neighbor of mine, good buddy. We drank some beers together. Yeah, is it worth importing foxes from Canada to the States? I mean, the benefit. So I don't know how wide people's knowledge is on, say, for example, currency exchange that are watching now. U.S. dollars, your guys' dollars go a lot further up here in Canada than our dollar does down there. So, for example, you bring $1 across the line, and it's worth like $1.25 to $1.30 Canadian. So I shouldn't maybe be telling you guys this because now you're going to come up and buy all our foxes for 25 or 30 cents on the dollar. But yeah, your money goes a long ways. Now, the downfall, and I think a lot of people have this assumption, is that we're up here in Canada, we're all living in igloos and it snows and we get gravel on the roads and all these cars are wrecked. Now, that is true for the vast majority of stuff, but there is still some clean stuff out there. People that have kept hidden in their heated shops, and I mean, there's still some deals to find. There was one actually. I can't remember. Actually, it was a tan 4-cylinder. I'm trying to remember who talked to me about this now. Maybe it was Calypso Coyote. I can't remember. Anyway, it doesn't matter. There was a 4-cylinder, sand beige, tan interior, um, very, very clean example of and it was very, very low miles, or in this case, low kilometers. I think that car sold for like $9,000, and it might have gone down to the States. So do the exchange on that. Like, what are you, little over $7,000 for that car? That's not bad value, especially for a very, very low mile car. Um, I don't know, not bad. Um, got some sweet cars up there, eh? Yeah. um, yeah, that's right, Joe. I know. I thought I remember something about that too. Because I think we chatted, he and I, and he wanted me to maybe go and look at it, but it ended up like it was 4 or 5 hours away from me. So, um, hey, Hot Rod George, how are you, buddy? Thanks for joining. Stock 5.0. Yeah, like something else here. Now, I was talking to somebody the other day about this. It's a buddy locally here. He's got quite a few Fox bodies, and we were talking about like he's kind of on the hunt for more. And I said, I find whenever I go looking for stuff, it's when you either turn up nothing but junk, or you just feel defeated, like you can't find anything. It's when you least expect it that these things fall on your lap. Um, there's actually a fella here again locally. He has a black on black GT, all original. Trying to think of the mileage. It's fairly low, like for today's standards. He just happened to be popping through. I think it was like a jewelry shop or something silly, but the jewelry shop had a little bit of a commercial space behind it, like almost like a shop bay. And he kind of caught the lines of a fox right as he was looking through the door. And long story short, this jeweler had this black GT hanging out in this shop space, and he ended up buying it. Like, who'd have thunk it, right? Going to the jewelry store to get the battery changed in your watch, and you end up buying a Fox. Okay, Tommy, what do you got here? The problem is none. Yeah, and that's a point I wanted to make too. If you guys see War Admiral on here and what he's just said, like, I guess that was kind of part of my rant, in that when I was just going like, come on, guys, what are we doing to each other? But I know I'm not talking to you guys. That's kind of the funny part with it. I'm hoping that this is going to get out to the masses, and these people that are hosing others see it, and hopefully feel a little bit of embarrassment over it all, because I don't think it's the community that's screwing over the community. Like, this is a really, really awesome community. I mean, look at, I got 50 of you guys on here. That's just mind blowing to me. And everybody chiming in, and we're all contributing to this thing. Like, this is unreal. And this is the community I speak of. I mean, I got goosebumps everywhere right now. We're not trying to hose each other at all, like, fair's fair. I mean, we're all aware of the fact that they're going up in price, and that's great. And we're all willing to pay a little bit more because of all that. But like some of these, it's just wild. I mean, I don't know. Lack of cars, see lack of clean cars. Yeah, I know it's true. I think the supply is getting short. I mean, maybe you could make one of those arguments, right? Supply demand. And there's more of us that are, I guess, coming to that age where, maybe you got a couple bucks kicking around, or I don't know. I mean, maybe you got a good line of credit, whatever it is. And we can afford these things now, right? Crusty clone, good point. Yeah. Scotty, yeah, the Porsche community. I dipped my toe, not in the ownership arena, but I dipped my toe into the Porsche community there. I used to work with a guy that was right into them, good buddy, and started to understand and appreciate some of the inner workings of that Porsche world. And it's a wild one, and there's some really neat heritage there. I know there's sometimes some talk about like, these Fox bodies doing Porsche things. I'm like, God, that's two different universes. Like these air cooled Porsches that are going for great big money. I mean, I think these things will probably keep going up. For the good, clean examples, and that's just through sheer, I guess, again, supply and demand, and popularity, right? But I don't know that they'll ever touch the Porsches, and or even so. My buddy Josh on here, he's actually, I'm trying to remember the year of it now. Josh, that is it a '67 that you got? So got a like kind of a roller shell. I think it's a '67 fastback. Um, and the interesting part is like some people try to draw the correlation between those cars and these Foxes, and I'm just like, you can't. You're like maybe down the road, but we can't see that far into the future. Um, like those fastbacks, you can go out. Now, this is my whole value thing again, right? I was going on about paint pricing, which I'll touch on because I know a lot of people were fired up over that too. But you can go out and get a roller shell of a 67. Well, you can't really, they're hard to find. But if you could, let's say somebody sells you one for 40, 30, 40, whatever $1,000. Well, you still got 60, $70,000 that you can throw at that thing and still be in the money. Now, that brings up another point actually is a lot of people said, well, yeah, what if you're not trying to sell them? Well, that's a whole different world. And I get that one because I mean, I can't even imagine how much money in odds and ends that I have tied up in my coupe. It's crazy. So yeah, if you're buying this thing to just love it and enjoy it and whatever, throw as much money you want at it. But I think just in the back of our heads, we always consider, well, how upside down am I in this thing, right? Or I said in my video, right? Like, what happens if you're, God forbid, pulled out of this world too early, and your kids or your better half has to deal with that car, right? Sorry, guys. Darn lights. Okay, high school cars. Yeah, they definitely are, Steve. And I think that's where people get this whole. They start comparing like 67 fastbacks to Fox bodies because that was the older generation's high school hot rod, right? Or the '69 Camaros or whatever, right? Chevelles and stuff. Um, I just I think that that's too far apart. I can't start comparing these cars to that. They do have similar, not trajectories, but similar paths in that these are our high school hot rods. But I don't know. I think I have a hard time trying to put those two together. Fox owners don't care if I get up. Yeah. Sport Freak 97. What's your favorite LX hatch? LX, um, I've, I mean, I love them all. I really, truly do. I wouldn't turn down any of them. I've owned an LX hatch. I've owned my LX coupe. I've owned now this convertible. This convertible has actually been an interesting one. I've never owned a convertible before in my life, and it's opened my eyes up to the convertible world a little bit. Now, after owning one, I will say I do see why people don't own them because they make way more noise than the hardtops, and not just like outside road noise. I mean, they creak and they make noise, they crack and whatever. It's crazy. Um, the amount of time that I've got spent trying to line up these windows and that top, guys, is it blow your mind. I don't even. We'd be friends off. You probably wouldn't talk to me anymore because it's like days and days, late nights, early morning, like crazy. So they're a whole nother animal for sure to make right, and I'm still not even right. Um, the very top, if you can see that very top of my windows, I got like a gap like that on both sides that I cannot correct for in everything that I know one can try. But anyway, what else do we got here? 16 hours to line my window. Yeah, it's those that have done it or tried it, good grief, it's crazy. Um, Top goes down, price goes up. Yeah, I know what you mean, Phil, but I don't think that's the case in these cars. Um, like definitely in some, but the verts they're definitely priced lower than even GTs or LX hatches. Coupes are obviously, everybody knows that. Like everybody wants the coupe, which is funny. I bring this point up every now and again. Everybody, not everybody, but most people thought the coupes were garbage in the early years. And I think my thoughts, I'd love to hear your guys's, but my thoughts are is because they resembled the grandma next door that had the 4-cylinder car, right? I mean, I know that coupe, the first thing I wanted to do with it was to pull the LX badge off the trunk. Now everybody wants to buy them and put them back on. But I didn't want that thing looking like a 4-cylinder, right? Everybody wanted the GT, totally, right? I mean, I tell the story sometimes about the body kit on my car. That was a lot of the reason why I put the body kit on it. One, it was the 90s. Two, I was young and dumb. But three, I wanted to try to push it away from the 4-cylinder look, right? Now I see all these beautiful, like war admirals, right? All these beautiful coupes with no body kit, no nothing. I mean, they're stunning, especially when they got the proper ride height. And well, War Admiral's got some awesome pinch weld covers and stuff too, which really cleans up that bottom under the door. But beautiful, beautiful examples. Cheese graters, yeah, I'm still rocking the ones on my vert here too, buddy. Special color fox bodies. Yeah, I mean, there's definitely, I think actually what's funny about that color comment is all the colors are popular now. There's some obviously more than others, right? You Bimini blues and the Calypsos and stuff like that. But like wild strawberry, that was not a popular color. And now they want to relive that wild strawberry. I mean, there's guys that are trying to restore the red interiors and blue interiors. Like it's kind of wild. I mean, those colors make me laugh sometimes because I had a 60 or pardon me, a 1970 GMC C1500, but C10 for what it's worth, that I bought and kind of restored. And it was a green paint and full green interior. Like, I mean, all green. And that was the thing, right? It was just those wild colors, both in and out. 89 Scarlet Red, yeah. That's funny. Newfie Mustang. Yeah, so the cheese graters, I know the infamous project there, Chris, he talks about the cheese graters coming back. And he thinks it's going to happen. Geez, sorry guys, I get these weird like pop-ups saying if I want to allow a comment or not. I don't know what that's all about, but Reef Blue, yeah, Rod, that's there. Here's a funny little story. Going back to the 90s again and trying to, I guess, push my car away from that 4-cylinder look. I actually thought about painting that car at one point in time, like painting a perfectly good, the paint job that's on it. That's the paint that was on it when it rolled off the line in 92. And I was going to scuff that thing down and paint it, believe it or not. And I hope you guys don't judge me too hard on this, but I wanted some like outrageous, like lime green or something silly. I had a buddy that had a yellow SN95, and I just seen my buddy here come on. He's got a beautiful yellow SN95. But those bright colors, like they were popular then, right? And I just had this dull forest green kind of looking car, right? And yeah, I was going to paint it some outrageous color. Like, oh my God, thank goodness I didn't. Yeah, I know, right? Hey, while we're on the paint topic, guys, I should maybe touch on that a bit. So, I was throwing out some pretty big numbers in the paint world, and now there is, I forget what he calls himself on here, but my buddy Kyle is on here somewhere, and he's a painter. Okay, so and he's a painter up here in Canada. I should also make that um, that division. Like, I don't really know prices in the States. I would assume that they somewhat follow the prices up here, but um, prices up here now from my buddy Kyle and this other friend of mine. They're both professional painters, and they were talking about just the price of supplies. Um, and then again, God forbid you start factoring in a person's time. Like, it just, to paint a car is not cheap. Um, and I mean, I've helped and watched guys prep a car for paint. Like, there's a lot of time and a lot of hours tied up in this stuff, So I can understand how the price gets up there. Now, supplies, I don't understand. I don't know why paint supplies are what they are. But somebody commented saying like, oh, a good paint job in their area is 2,500 to 3 grand, which I don't know. I mean, maybe there's bargain paint outfits. There's one locally here. I forget what it's called, like Mako or something. I don't know. Maybe those are in the U.S. as well, but you can get a like a bargain paint job from those guys. Geez, sorry guys, my lights keep shutting off on me here. I've never had anything painted by him. I don't know what the quality's like on that stuff, but for what it's worth, I guess they're out there. But yeah, and high quality paint, big bucks. Yeah, Tommy, you'd know. I mean, geez, you got a stunning paint job on that car. Now, actually, something my buddy Kyle brought up too is when you start throwing flakes in paint, the various colors that come with like a metal flake, I guess that's big money now too. So that can drive the price up apparently. Single stage stable. No one will paint my 92. Interesting. Yeah. I think what happens is, holy smokes, Tom, is that right? Wow. You know what? So I'll let you guys in on a little secret. Now there's a fella in the comments watching with us here, War Admiral. Now he and I are tagging up and we're going to put a video together on the background story and the kind of the full build process to what his car is today. Now, this car actually recently has been floating around the internet because he's got it out and had it at some shows and stuff. But he and I wanted to sit down and kind of tell the background story, because I don't know about you guys, but as much as I love seeing the finished product, I like knowing the story that led up to the finished product, right? And so we're going to go through and try and tell you guys the story of that. I'll try and overlay pictures, build process at the time. We'll try to do as good a production as I'm capable of doing. But yeah, I mean, well, some of you guys caught this $20,000 for paint. Like, now that car was red and it went gray, and it went gray everywhere too, right? Like, I don't know, Tom, maybe you can weigh in here, buddy. And I'm sure like the interior was out of it. Like, for sure, I know the engine bit, like everything went from red to gray, and it's a beautiful, beautiful paint job. The depth in that paint is just absolutely stunning. So yeah, Savannah James Foxtoberfest. I think that's where a lot of people saw Tom's car. So super, super cool. Trying to remember what the other thing I wanted to touch on here now was, guys. Paint. Yeah, so Kyle, guys, that's just commenting now. He's in the process of painting a Mystic. I think well, yeah, that's the only thing the Mystic came on is the Cobra. So it's an SN95 Mystic Cobra. And this fella has the skill and the know-how to lay that color down, which from what I understand, just knowing how to do that is an art in itself. But, oh, I know what I was going to say. So somebody was commenting like, finding a good painter is kind of hard to do these days. And I was chatting the other day with a buddy of mine and said, a good painter is almost like trying to find a good carburetor guy or gal these days. Like it seems to be a bit of a dying art. I guess you could maybe, I don't know, throw some mechanics in the mix there too, right? Like, and I can speak a little bit from experience in that side of things. I get people, I overhear conversations about people kind of getting rolled over the coals by a mechanic. And I always say to them, I'm like, look, you got to understand what that mechanic's going through in a day. If they're on like a Chilton time guide to fix a particular thing, and you go in and say, oh, my every once in a while my radio acts up, or every once in a while I get this weird rattle. It doesn't make any sense for them to pour any amount of time or effort into that intermittent problem, because they know they're just going to be chasing it and losing time and ultimately taking food out of their families' mouths to do it. Now, I'm sure it's probably the same in the body world, where you only get so many hours, say, from an insurance company to paint a wrecked car, and they're going to do their best to slap color on that thing and rush through it and somewhat bring it back to what it formerly was. So I think the way the world's structured nowadays, where we want everything yesterday, nobody's got the time, everybody wants it done cheap, quality falls off and lacks, right? Yeah, nothing's cheap these days. Yeah. Is that right? 160 an hour for an electrical diagnosis at Ford. Wow. And for anyone that's done any electrical work, like, you can be chasing problems forever. When something done right takes time and money. Yep. It's very, very true. What's the saying? Cool. Oh, I'm going to mess this up now. And I don't know if I should swear on here or not either. I'll try and keep it clean. Cool poop ain't cheap, and cheap poop ain't cool. And that's a pretty good one to go by, right? Because, there's a really good one. If you want it done cheap, it's going to be done not so good. If you want it done good, it's not going to be, anyway. See what else we got here. Depends on where you are. Oh, Dino, how you doing, buddy? Actually, yeah. So Dean, I don't know how deep you want to get in there, bud, but he is a Ford mechanic, so he would know these things, and he's a very good one too. So the kind of guy you want to go to, not the guy that I was just referring to that's rushing through stuff. I'm sure he would meet you after hours and make things right, kind of deal. So. Okay, guys. Well, here we go. Kyle. Okay. He says on the VIN photos prove you're painting the car. That's interesting. So I was mentioning here about this Mystic car to everyone, and Kyle's the fellow that's painting it right now. He says you used to have to send in the VIN and photos to prove you're painting the car to get the secret BASF recipe to lay down that Mystic color. That's wild. Fox Resto. Yeah, 150 an hour. I mean, that's maybe even a little steep up here for us. Like, I've got a really good buddy that runs a hot rod shop, and he's $1.25. Now you get all of that. Like, it's worth it. And he's the type of guy that, if he wasted time on this, you're not paying for it kind of guy. And he's always over and above. I'd assume Fox Resto is very much the same for sure. I watch Gearhead 704's videos and see the Matt and Matt, the Matt twins there, doing their thing. And he's a very, very knowledgeable guy. Steve, my antenna delete plate's a game changer. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. I think I've done a video on that. Yeah, the antenna delete plates have been kind of neat. I don't know, you guys might be able to see it here. My little 3D printer. Yeah, always wanted to get into it. I've got an idea in the back of my head. I want to get into metal 3D printing actually, and but those are big money. And I thought, well, rather than bailing in on that end of things, like I'm talking hundreds of thousands of dollars, like mortgage yourself to the teeth. Why not buy one of these cheaper ones and at least teach yourself how to run it first, right? So that's what I did. And I thought, well, how do I make something that, because I had to learn CAD too. And good gracious. Had to learn CAD as well. And so that's what I taught myself on is I made that antenna delete plate. So it was pretty neat. And yeah, a lot of people still reach out to me for those. And the story behind it was I always thought the 93 Cobra R delete plate was kind of poorly designed. It's got a weird ridge around the edge of it, which is nothing more than a dirt and a dust catch. And I wanted to sort of smooth that out and or contour it so it fit the curvature of the fender a little better. So that's where those come from. My light helper, I know. I think she's up watching cartoons, little bugger. Oh, here's Maddie. Paid 10K for my 92 and 97. Notchback 5-speed, all original, mostly with 8,000 miles. Holy smokes, hey? Yeah. And that's in 97. So yeah, that would have been the same year I got mine. It had more than 8,000 miles on it. But like I was saying, the folks were asking 6,000 for it. Now they took my ATV on trade, which still blows my mind. But yeah, I would say, I mean, yeah, you're probably at 10 grand paying, you're paying good money for it then, but that's a very, very low mile car. But I guess, you know what, like what were those new, Matt, like 14, 15 grand, for a 92 coupe. Yeah. So I guess, yeah, you probably paid market value at the time type thing. Those lights. Josh, these damn lights. I mean, I love them, and they're the whole LED thing and whatever. But I got to figure out how to get the sensors dialed up on them. I mean, when I turn them on, I just want them on. I don't want them. They're nice for having kids because they come in here, turn the lights on, and leave, and don't shut them off. But yeah, when you're in here, like I was saying, especially if you're under a car, you're outside. They'll shut off, and you're waving and. So is there anything else you guys want to go through? I mean, I think I shared most of my opinions on the whole pricing debacle. It sounds like we're probably all of the same, I don't know, opinions, I guess. I just hope that things, I guess maybe through attrition and just natural selection, this community will probably weed those people out a bit. And yeah, we can thin the herd a little bit of these high priced that shouldn't be high priced cars. Because like I say, this community, I've yet to meet a good person from the community that is out there ripping people off, like I always think and I look at it like, I mean, this car, for example, it wasn't the cheapest car in the world. It wasn't the most expensive either, but and the folks I dealt with were just amazing people, but it was fair money. I think in everybody that there's perspective on that. Everyone has their idea of fair money, but I just went, yeah, like I think both of us, it's a 50-50 win. Both of us felt good. They won and I won. And I guess the big win is the car, I don't know. I mean, I think anyway, made its way to a good home, right? Where it was going to be looked after and brought back to her former glory and so on and so forth, right? So, yeah, I have put a lot of work into the car. Now, I'm weird in that way, right? Like, I'm the type of person that brings something brand new home and goes, well, let's take this apart and see how it all works, or maybe I can make it better, you know? So I'm a little over the top, admittedly, when it comes to that sort of stuff. Um, Very rarely do I leave well enough alone. But this car, I mean, it is 30 years old, and being all original, right? Just things are tired, you know? And it did live its life out in, well, started in Arkansas, went to Florida, and then ended up in Texas, and that's where I got it from. So it was always in the heat, and or some rain, but both of those didn't wreak too much havoc on it. I think it was more the heat, and that's why it got a splash of paint and a new top on it. So, ooh, Kyle wants to talk about Coyote swaps. Yeah, Coyote swaps. That's an interesting one. One in which, um, well, I'll maybe for those of you watching, I'll somewhat let the cat out of the bag. There is some talk about me maybe messing around with one here in the not so far future. So I'll maybe leave it just at that because it's a pretty neat one. I hope it all comes to fruition, but um, yeah, the Coyote swaps going for big money. I mean, um, I think in some ways it's justified. You know, like say for example, you look at some of these folks out there that are no, they're commercially doing it, but like restoring the Broncos, or there's that oh, what's the name of it? Um, they're essentially restoring like the older first gen Mustangs to essentially current standards. Shoot, wish I could remember the name of that outfit. Maybe somebody can comment and let me know. But and they're selling for big money, couple hundred grand. I think they started about 150. Um, but yeah, like I think some of that stuff is fairly justified. I mean, there's a lot of money that goes into good quality parts for one of those Coyote swaps. Finding a low mileage donor motor and well, K member, like it's a long laundry list of parts. There is a fella that I know of. I'm trying to think of his handle. He's on YouTube down in California that's doing them, and I think, I mean, as far as fair money goes, he's doing them for a like a reasonable dollar and reselling them and doing them quite quick. He's getting very good at them, but yeah, they 50 grand for a properly done Coyote swap. I mean, I don't know. Put it this way: if you wreck that car, I think you'd be very hard pressed for insurance to come through at 50 grand on that car. Um, but are they worth it? I guess maybe done right. I don't know. You essentially get like a 20, whatever, say 13 to 2020 drivability car. So apparently difference in the two. Yeah, there is a difference between the truck motor and the car motor. Rather have a push rod. Rod, I'm glad you brought that up because I'm somewhat of a similar opinion. I really do appreciate these Coyote swaps and the trouble that people are going through to do them. I'm a little old school too. Like I do enjoy the push rod. For those of you, I don't know if he's still on here or not, but Jay Kennedy SVT is a buddy of mine down in the States, and we talk about this quite often. I think if you're going to go to all the trouble to do a Coyote swap, I think doing something like War Admiral's done on here, or I mean, there's a guy, I think he goes by the name Schlitz's Garage. As far as I'm concerned, he recreates. He's got two of the most beautiful Fox bodies I've ever seen. One's a red coupe. I believe it's a twin turbo 408, so a 351 stroker. And I forget what the other one is. I think it might be a 347. But anyway, you can make big power out of these properly built pushrod motors, and they still fit. They're, like you're not having to beat and massage and whatever to make a Coyote fit between the tower shock towers, Um, yeah, see, I agree, Josh. Hang on here, guys. Bloody lights. Yeah, that's just my thoughts, and I think everybody feels a little different on that one. But I've always thought to myself, if I was going to spend that much time and money on something, I think I'd build like a 408 and go that route. You know, um, I know a freight felt. Jeez. So anyway, Great Coyote thought Broncos take 100K at auction. Yeah, like I'm of the opinion. I think that the Coyote thing, it's kind of a trendy thing, right? Like, but I don't get me wrong. I get it. Like the modern conveniences of these modular motors, like yeah, um, they make good power. Yeah, I mean, and they're smooth, they're reliable. They apparently love all kinds of air thrown at them and fuel, so lots of capabilities there. But I don't know. I mean, you hear a properly built pushrod motor idling beside like again a properly built Coyote, and I don't know. I think I'd lean more towards the pushrod side of things myself, but that's, everybody's got their own little thing on that, right? Yeah, War Admiral does have a killer combo, and I don't know if you guys have seen. Actually, I think he's just got it on Instagram, but he's got a dyno video of that thing. Oh my god! Like, it's breaking the tires loose on the rollers. Like that thing is a monster. I can't even. Yeah, I hope one day I can go for a ride in that thing. Good gracious, it's something. 306, yeah. True Foxbody has a 5.0. Yeah, I know, right? Um, I don't know. I'm like I say, I'm partial to the pushrod stuff too. Um, I know there's things that a modular motor can do that a pushrod motor can't, and well, vice versa too, right? I mean, the modular motors don't have the same torque characteristics that these pushrod motors do either. So there's give and take on both sides of the thing. I guess it depends on what you want to do. It's kind of like the camshaft debate, right? Like, oh, this one makes all this power, whatever. Well, yeah, but it makes all that power at 6,500 RPM. Who goes for ice cream at 6,500 RPM? I mean, well, maybe you do sometimes, but like you drive your car from 0 to 3,000. At least most of us do most of the time. And yeah, yeah. So like, I don't know. I guess it's all personal preference, really, right? Parts for a push rod or whole lot. They are. I mean, and you got well less cam. You got one cam. Just less moving parts too. And I know that guys are getting way better at doing them now. I mean, I've heard things about like electric power steering, and guys are running air conditioning and getting all the goodies on them. But I don't know. I mean, you can do that stuff a heck of a lot easier on a push rod package that fits there and whatever else, right? Must be a guy. It is Randy. Yeah. Oh. I'm gonna leave that one alone. Actually, I was gonna say something, but hey, I'm gonna keep it high level here. Yeah, I think that's what we all like doing, Rod. Just getting out there and cruising, right? Um, and yeah, I mean, I can appreciate, like, I see a lot of these videos, the cold start videos, which I love, but I'll maybe preface that and say, like, I love a good push rod cold start video. I mean, some of these Coyote cold start videos, like, you got to have hearing protection on. It's just a racket of snapping and banging, and I don't know that. I guess everybody's got their thing. That it's not really my thing. I like the sound of a good Chevy big block or a big block Ford, or there are small blocks like these Pushrod motors. They got a really nice sound to them throughout the whole RPM range. Some of these things start screaming and barking, and they'll deafen you. So let's try to catch up on some of the comments here, guys. Well, I don't know. I mean, I'm kind of running out of things to say here, guys. If there's anything else you want to touch on here, or I even throw it out to you. I mean, you guys watch me once a week. If there's anything you want to chat about or know about me or whatever, I mean, fire away. Actually, here's one I'll just throw out to kind of stir the pot a little bit and get things flowing if you guys do want to ask any questions. But this whole KASL thing. So where that comes from is it's my daughter's initial, and then the last L is the last initial of our name. So I thought it just had a neat ring to it, Castle. And obviously love my girls and dad of daughters. I thought I'd roll with a name like that. So anyway, that's where the name comes from. Okay, how's my neighbor doing? Their house is for sale. Believe it or not. Time for Yellowstone. Hey, Savannah James, no kidding. Hey, I look forward to that one too. My wife and I, we picked it up a long time ago and set it down, and now we're trying to catch up on it. We're almost caught right up, so which is not a good thing because we kind of like burning through a handful of episodes at a time, but. Sure, please. Awesome show. Thanks, Marco. Get myself a hatchback. Well, I had one a little while. I should maybe do a video on that one at one point in time, but Josh wanted to know what's coming up for builds. I mentioned earlier on, Josh, you might have missed the first start of things, but I just did a big LMR. I'm keeping the lights on down there in Waco, Texas. Did an order the other day. And got the bits and pieces to essentially wake this 91 vert up a little bit. So I got a cap back for it. And thanks for all your help on this too, buddy, because I went the MagnaFlow route. I was going to go the Pro or the whatever they call it, the louder of the two, because the street version was sold out for the longest time. But anyway, now it's flipped. You can't get the louder version. You can only get the street version. So I just push buy now. I got the street version of the MagnaFlow catback. And I got some BBK unequal length shorties for it and an off-road H. So I got to throw all that in. I got a rad swap coming up on it. I think the rest of the stuff, in all honesty, was just little bits and pieces. I needed like a rad overflow, with the cap sensor deal. This one flashes up saying I got unblow coolant every once in a while. So I got a new one of those. But yeah, little odds and ends like that. So run everybody through a full exhaust swap. Oh, and I got that's the other thing. I got all the bits and pieces to get rid of the smog pump. Maybe I shouldn't say that on here, but anyway, yeah, getting rid of the smog pump and all that stuff too. So, got like the head, the bolt plate deals that block the heads off, and we'll yard all that garbage out of there. So you want to come? We're just signing off here, bud. If you want to come say bye to everybody. She's back, Randy, if you're still watching. Everybody was saying that you should have been in here waving around so the light stayed on. Mac catback. Yeah, they don't get those anymore. Or don't make them anymore. LS motors. Do I have any LS stuff coming up? I did that one last winter, which, geez, those videos just fell on their face. Nobody seemed to want to watch anything on the LS little 5.3 that I rebuilt. But thanks, Tommy. Oh, Randy's still here. Okay, yeah, looks like everybody's kind of signing off here, guys. So I'll let you guys run. Listen, I really appreciate it, guys. This was fun. Sorry, it was kind of, I'm sure, a little rocky to watch, but my first time doing it. So if you guys got a kick out of it, we'll maybe do these more often. And yeah, this is fun, especially having the live format with the chat on the side. So Thanks, guys. And yeah, I guess I'll catch up with you here real soon. Like I said, I got a video coming up for you on new versus used parts, whether or not I think it's worth it, and run you through actually restoring some used parts. So there you go. I think it's kind of worth it. So thanks, Dino. Yeah, no, thanks, guys. Jeez, look at all this. Hey, you guys are awesome. I mean, I would have never thought goofball like me, and all you guys want to chime in and tag along and watch all this stuff. So thanks, guys. I mean, it really, yeah, means a lot to me. So, okay, guys, yeah, take care. We'll do this again soon, and I'll see you on the next video, I guess. Have a great night, guys. Bye-bye.